Hi students, welcome to Vijayata IAS Academy Current Affairs class. So far, we were seeing the impact of Russia and Ukraine conflict on political aspects, like how India's relations with the Western countries, how India's relations with the Russia, and what will be the stand of India at United Nations Security Council. Those were the main important issues that so far covered. But due to sanctions, now there is a huge economic impact at the world level. Now in India also the impact is visible in different sectors. In that context, we have taken some important news from business line. Here, the impact of Russia and Ukraine conflict on exporters and Sputnik 5 production, which is very essential for containing COVID-19 virus. Let us understand what are the various difficulties for exporters and what are the administrative steps that are already being taken or it's underway to ease exporters at the world level. Now here exporters mull payment alternatives because Russian due to sanctions on Russian financial system and banking system, it becomes exporters to pay finances for the exporters. Commerce Ministry officials consult Finance Ministry RBI to ease situation. Now you can see various dimensions to this particular issue. One is exporters are affected. Now what are the administrative steps that are important to ease the situation? Here Commerce Ministry is involved, exports, imports are involved, and finance related aspects are involved. So Finance Ministry is involved and RBI is involved because of banking transactions. India's exports to Russia have come under a shadow following economic and banking sanctions. US, UK and European Union on the country for invading Ukraine. After invading Ukraine, sanctions started imposing. Now SWIFT also, some of the banking transactions of Russia blocked in the SWIFT mechanism as well. The Commerce and Industry Ministry is examining suggestions from exporters, including the possibility of third country payments and allowing deals in ruble is the currency of Russia. But unavailability of insurance cover and rising freight rates are adding to the list of woes according to sources. Now this is the problem. Exporters cannot directly export to Russia, and the imports from Russia also cannot be done smoothly. Now what are the other alternatives for exporters and importers? One is about how goods should be exported, one aspect, and how goods should be imported, second aspect. How payments should be made is the third one, and in which currency payments should be made is the major issue now. Financial transactions. Russia, which is India's 25th largest trading partner. Here you can use these kind of facts in case of mains also. Imports, that's kind of what will be the impact of Russia and India's trade on the account of invading Ukraine. Imports considerable volume of, here the sectors also, which sectors are important with respect to Russia and Indian trade. Tea, pharmaceuticals, mobile phones, other electronics, machinery, iron and steel, apparel from India. These are some of the imports, considerable volumes of tea, mobile from India. Russia imports these items from India. Now these sectors are going to be affected in the Indian subcontinent or Indian context. Now again, Finance Ministry or Commerce Industry Ministry now should take care of these industries as well. India's total exports to Russia were valued at 2.6 billion in 2021, while imports were 5.4 billion. These are the factual numbers. Since most Russian banks have been blocked by European Union and US from SWIFT international payment system. This can be important point for prelims examination point of view. SWIFT is in the context of international payment system. It would be difficult for Russian companies to put through financial transactions. Whatever, if Russian imports are going to be affected, if Russia imports, whatever imports so far done, now how payments should be made to Indian companies. And at the same time, if Indians are importing from Russian's economy, then how Indians should pay their counterparts? This is the major question now. Some Russian importers who have entities in other countries such as Turkey, Hong Kong, and UAE have suggested that India should allow third country payments. But this could lead to payment delays and other issues might crop up, such as the need for advance declaration at the time of shipment. Some of the Russian entities who are importing Indian goods, they might be having some foreign business entities like in other countries. Russian companies may have branches in other countries like Turkey, Hong Kong, UAE. So they are suggesting payments can be made to these companies. But now once again issue will come, how much it should be paid and what is the payment should be made. Commerce Ministry officials will meet their counterparts in Finance Ministry and officers at RBI and bank to discuss if some relaxation could be given, the sources said. The other options of allowing deals to be carried out in ruble. Ruble is the currency of Russia instead of US dollar. US dollar is the standard where international payments are done. Now, on the growing situation, ruble can be used as payment means, could allow smooth payments, but would be a complicated exercise as ruble is not freely convertible currency and determining the exchange rate could be an issue because it is not freely convertible. Now we don't know how much rupees and ruble combination should be maintained, especially with the value of ruble falling steeply. Already the Russian currency is under pressure. Already the depreciation of ruble is taking place. Now how much ruble and rupee ratio should be maintained for exchange? So this is not and in case of ruble also not freely convertible, it cannot be determined by market also. It becomes difficult for setting the ratio between rupee and ruble. One has to see how frequently the exchange rate would needed to be revised. Frequent changes may be required if we follow ruble as the standard or to pay payments for Russian companies or while importing from Russia to pay to the Russian companies. While items like food, pharmaceutical and energy are excluded from the sanctions, the situation is challenging for these sectors also because it will have imports related and other subsidiary related items which may be required imports and exports. And also we do not know in future whether these sectors also may come under sanctions because situation is tense. In future nobody knows what will happen to these sectors as well. The withdrawal of ECGC, this is Export Credit Guarantee Corporation. Exporters, there is a credit guarantee corporation. On the account of invasion, it was withdrawn coverage for shipments to Russia with effect from February 25th, which is a huge setback for exporters. Now there is no cushion or no support for exporters who are exporting to Russia. Now withdrawal of this cover on export to Russia is unfair and should be. Now shipment cost has gone up multiple times. It will increase the shipment cost. It will put the exporters under pressure. The center should consider assistance to exporters to defray some cost. Banks need to provide more pre and post shipment working capital with a higher interest subvention. They are expecting once again from the state administration or once again they are expecting the help from banks and from the government. Now you can see how it will have impacts on various sectors. Now some companies in Russia, they are importing Indian goods. Now whatever Indian goods are exported, it affects these sectors, and whatever Indians are importing, the imports also get affected due to no smooth functioning of export and import system. One is items are affected and transactions are affected. Now export import, the finances also get affected due to this growing tensions. This is one issue, exporters related issue. Another one issue is related to Sputnik 5 production in India is in a spot. Now Sputnik 5, it is a vaccine important for containing COVID-19. Global sanctions against Russian Direct Investment Fund RDIF. It is a sovereign fund which is investing in the production of Sputnik 5. have cast a long shadow on the production of Sputnik 5 in India, the second largest base for COVID-19 vaccine after Russia. In India, India is a huge population. India is having large population. We need vaccines. Now, if this affects vaccine production, it will affect the health of millions of people. RDIF, the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Russian Federation, and its chief have been named in the US sanctions list following Russia's attack on Ukraine, and this has jeopardized plans for increased local production and exports. One is local production. It requires some of the essentials, and also it requires assistance from Russian officials or Russian people, but now it is under effect. Dr. Reddy's laboratory has tied up with RDIF and is the brand custodian of Sputnik 5 in India. Dr. Reddy's laboratories. Now it will come under pressure. On Sputnik, we have manufacturing capabilities in India and drug substance is not imported. Hence, there is no impact, according to Dr. Reddy's laboratories. Overall, we are monitoring evolving developments and preparing accordingly. Because in the times of war, we do not exactly know what consequences will have on every system which is already going smoothly is going to be affected. RDIF has separate production ties up with other companies as well. Now all these companies will come under pressure, and there is a fear that this particular vaccine production will take a hit and it will affect people of India. Totally RDIF production packs with India are for over 1100 million doses. Now market first 250 million doses in India. The development comes even as World Health Organization is said to be evaluating the vaccine for speedy approval in other countries. While WHO is evaluating the vaccine and also for speedy approvals in other countries also, it is a major health issue. Health effects are going to be felt due to growing tensions. Payment views. Despite medicine and vaccines are usually being kept out of ambit of sanctions, the blocking of key Russian banks from SWIFT system adds to the uncertainties. Because these are we can import and export, but payment system becomes very difficult how to pay for the exporters and importers. No political involvement, RDF meanwhile clarified. It had never involved in any political activity, does not interact in any way with Ukraine, and follow the world's best investment practices. It is saying, it is assuring that we do not involve in politics, we will do operations continuously, there will be smooth functioning in production of Sputnik 5 vaccine. So this is about how the declaration of Russia on war on Ukraine, how it affects on other territories and other economic sectors, and how different countries are going to feel the heat of this war. These are few examples that you can use in your mains examination also. Here most important point is SWIFT system. SWIFT is very important for prelims point of view. This is about two important news items which are given in today's Business Line newspaper. Thank you.